At 38 trillion shillings, Uganda's debt is way above the country's national budget and has more than doubled in the last 3 years. A major area of concern among economic observers is whether Uganda can sustain this level of indebtedness.
Worst of all is that if you look at the external debt, over 60% of the amount is actually contracted from commercial terms. People like the Chinese, and their interest rates are really very high. So that has an effect on our payback.
More to that is the fact that it is contracted mainly in dollars, worrying economists a lot more, considering the fact that the shilling has steadily underperformed against the dollar over the last 2 years. Uganda has over the past 5 years borrowed heavily, mainly towards building major infrastructure projects such as roads, dams and the standard gauge railway. Although this is key to transforming the economy in the medium to the long-term basis, the country is expected to peak a big bill in the short run, given the cost at which they are coming and the slow pace at which some are being rolled out.
We have seen some of the projects where Uganda has borrowed being behind schedule. And of course, some of the debts Uganda has contracted, of course, some of them have remained undisbursed.
Civil society has suggestions on what should be done to avoid the debt trap that the country seems to be heading into.
It would be imperative that we pick back that money that has been stolen from public coffers, because those who steal it, it is known where they put it. We have an elaborate intelligence system in Uganda. That money should be picked. What they eat is known, where the money is kept is known, where it is being invested or used is known. So we can precisely collect back that money, and then we lessen the burden.
But we also need to have limits within which we should be borrowing. We should not be borrowing every time on emergencies. For instance, if you are going to borrow to finance refugees, I don't think that is a priority right now. Borrowing should be limited to only priority areas which will be able to generate returns in the long run.
Sometimes government borrows to support recurrent expenditures, and one of the areas where the state has a fairly big debt to clear is with the public service pension scheme.
The government officials should also do their own contribution for their own pension schemes, just like the rest of Ugandans are doing. That way, you lessen the pressures on the budget.
Some of the freed money, according to civil society, can be used to support capital expenditure in areas like infrastructure. In the next financial year, government is expected to spend 2.7 trillion shillings on debt servicing alone. This coming at a time when the taxman is performing below target amidst depressed economic environment, casting a grim picture than a rosy one.